Understand what the 3 pillars are. The 3 pillars are the main 3 reasons why they should work with you. Okay, I teach this in all my sales processes. Whenever you're going to date a girl, right, or a guy, if you're a girl watching this, you don't look at a guy and go, oh, you're just like everyone else. I want to date you. That would make no sense. You look at them and say, what makes them unique? What makes them different? Is he taller? Is he smarter? Is he more handsome? Does he have more money? Like every other person on earth. So the first thing I want to do when I'm doing the 3 pillars is figure out what are the 3 things I do that are super different, and what does everyone else do? Okay, so let's start with this, and it's really easy to do. So for example, you learn these on your initial sales calls, or you can just ask your client, Thanasi, what would you say most agency content businesses do, right? So if they're an agency, they build content, what could you probably say every single person does do?
They edit reels.
Okay, so they edit reels, right? They edit videos. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. What else do they do?
They could do the social media management, like posting for you.
So social media management, what else?
Coming up with ideas.
Okay. Coming up with ideas, what else can they do?
You can film the content for you.
Okay, film the content. They can also film it, okay? So right off the bat, we know that if we say any of these things, the chances that someone pays us a high amount is very low. Imagine Thanasi going to a girl making his case. There's 10 guys and he's like, you know what? I'm like every other guy here. I'll do the same things they do. There's no reason for her to pick him. This is what people do in business all the time. It blows my mind. It's why they don't make any money. It's why they're broke. If you want to make money, you figure out what other people do, and then you make your 3 pillars opposite of that. So for example, other things I can talk about with the content agency, a lot of times they will have, I'm not saying this is bad, but stick with me. They will have foreign editors. So we're looking for differentiation. So I could say, hey, my editors are in the US, theirs are foreign. That could be a reason they could pay more. You could say most agencies only do 30 reels a month. We'll do triple what they'll do, right? And again, these have to be things you can deliver on, but I'm just trying to put ideas in your head. Something else you could say is we are ROI based. So you only pay us if you get X amount of views. We'll do ROI reviews. If you get X amount of views or you get X amount of money. Okay, and again, be careful with this because if you can't deliver on this, you're just gonna have problems later. $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi is a great book. He's a good friend of mine, but at the same time, what it's also led to is people making promises that they can't keep. That is not good for your business, okay? Telling your girl that you're gonna take her to dinner every night and then you don't do it won't end up being a good thing for you. She'll be happy the day one, but she's not gonna be happy after that. So ROI and views. Someone else will say like, there's no ROI. So think about it this way, most content agencies, and this is where the problem can run into, and this is also why building a good offer from scratch is good. This is not the best offer in the world, meaning I have buddies who run these and you can do multi 6 figures a month, but you start to bottleneck because there's a lot of fulfillment and clients will blame you for all the problems. So think of it this way, if I edit your videos, most people want edited videos so they can make more money and get more views. If they don't get more money or more views, instead of looking in the mirror at how shitty their content is, like I do all the time, like I'm honest with myself, they go, oh, like, you know, it's probably this agency. So it's a scapegoat. So with that being said though, all people care about when it comes to the content agency is, do they get more views or do they make more money? All this other stuff, every agency can promise. Yeah, we'll edit, we'll shoot, we'll do it. No one gives a shit about that. What they care about is this. So the goal here is what do we do differently and create USPs around that. Hopefully that makes sense, everyone. If you have a question, drop it in the comment section. Now, going back to USPs, what we wanna write down is 1, 2, 3, and we think about the top 3 things we can do. Now, what a USP is unique selling proposition. So the billion-dollar companies, they're super unique. Uber, Facebook, Instagram, no one else is even in their stratosphere. That's why they make so much money, because they don't even have to advertise how they're different. Everyone just knows they're the best, right? Super easy. For the rest of us, for us peblums and peasants, we have to differentiate on what's different about us. So when you're a fitness coach, there's nothing super unique about fitness. Or if you're a content agency, there's nothing super unique about a content agency. It's how much better you are than other people. So what we could do here is a couple things. Usually what I wanna do is I do 2 pillars on the unique selling proposition. I do 1 on myself. So stick with me through this. Let's say I edit in a super unique way that typically will triple views on a video. Okay, so let's say hypothetically I'm talking to a client. I say, look, so pillar number 1, we went through the pre-frame, we did the discovery, I understand, it's like, cool. So now what I'm gonna do, John, is I'm gonna walk you through what I call my 3 pillars. That's gonna break down why we're a better option to work with for a content agency than anyone else in the marketplace. And John's like, dope, fuck yeah, like great. So now what I wanna do is I go, look, so pillar number 1, triple X growth. It doesn't matter what it is. The goal here is more to create curiosity. Curiosity is what gets people incentivized. If I say, increase views by 3 times. That's fucking boring, right? Make it sound unique, new. That's what gets people to buy stuff. The key thing here is to do what they do, what I do, and an example. First strategy or first pillar is triple X growth. Now, what most agencies do is they're gonna edit your videos, sure. They're gonna do social media management. They're gonna give you ideas, but they're not gonna actually get you growth. And if you don't get growth, you're not gonna make more money, right? Right. So what we do is we have unique growth strategy where we do X, Y, Z, and ABC. And when we do that, you get triple the views. And when you get triple the views, that converts into what? Triple the sales. That's the first thing that makes us different. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? There's comparison. People a lot of times when they get on sales calls will just list out what they do. But the problem is every other sales call they had with the content agency tells them the same thing. Pillar number 2 is domestication. Now, again, I'm not saying this is bad. I have foreign editors on my team, but for the sake of the example, stick with me. So let's say I go, number 2 is what I call domestication. Now, most editing agencies use a lot of foreign editors. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but a lot of times the quality is not as good. You know, they're not gonna do as great a job. They can't think as clearly. They can't be as creative, whatever. Now, what we do is we only use in-house USA-based editors. Now, they're more expensive, but the quality they put out is significantly higher. So when you work with us, you're gonna get better quality. Better quality means more views means more sales. You see how I keep tying it back to what they care about? No one gives a shit about getting a content agency. What they care about is money and views, like everyone else. I can sell anything because when I'm introduced to the product, I figure out what it is that people want out of the product, and then I tell them that's what it's gonna do. And all you have to do is be ethical at that point. Now, if you have a shit product, people find out, eventually it's gonna go downhill. But assuming this is ethical, this will work. Now, after I got those 2 pillars, the next thing I wanna do is go why they should hire me. So this happens with me all the time. So people go, well, Tanner, that sounds great, but like, why should I hire you still? One that I use in my company a lot is I've done $100 million in sales. You guys have probably seen a million ads where you get annoyed at this point where it's like, oh, it's the guy who says he did 100 million sales. But the reason I say that is because if someone else tries to sell why their consulting company is better, I go, well, yeah, but have they done 100 million in sales? No, they're probably not as good then, right? Because if they were, they would have done it. So in this case, I could say something similar where I go, well, you know, I have 2 million subs on YouTube. These other guys are brand new, etc. But me, what I do is I have 2 million subs on YouTube. You know, I've worked with Alex Hormozi, Grant Cardone, right? Everyone says that, by the way, so be careful. Like, not a lot of people say that, but they actually haven't. But you could list off people and it's like, so I must be legit. So 1 is personal authority, and 2 is a USP, unique selling proposition. What is it you do differently in your agency versus someone else? Because people need to know that. And the only way they're gonna know that is if you do comparison. If you just go to someone and say, I'm a good boyfriend, I'm the best boyfriend, I'm big, I'm strong, I'm fast, I'm like every other guy says that. So what you have to do is say, most people do this and I do this. And that has to be a comparison every single time.